Hey MMT followers, Christina Fuges back for another quick MMT chat. Now, today's guest didn't serve in the military, but he's made it his mission to serve those who have. Don Starkey is a veteran of the mold-making industry and a passionate supporter of iWarriors, a nonprofit that provides iPads to wounded veterans living with the emotional and physical scars of serving. The program began in 2011 as a personal mission by mold makers Tim and Kim Bartz. When they were preparing to retire, Don and the team at Progressive Components stepped in to carry the torch. Since then, iWarriors has donated more than 1,100 iPads, tools that veterans use to stay connected to family, to access care, to finish school, and to regain their independence. In today's chat, Don shares how this mission is changing lives, why connection matters, and how you can help. Let's take a listen.
I have to tell you, did you know my husband named iWarriors?
I did not know that.
So
Fun
back
fact.
in 2011, Tim Bartz and his wife, I forget where we were. It was a phone call, and he's talking about this organization he wanted to start for our wounded warriors, and must have been, I don't know why, he was talking about his iPhone. He's like, I don't know what to name it. I wish I could remember the names he came up with, and I hung up with him that night. I'm like, Steve, told him about the project, and he's like, how about iWarriors? Called Tim up, he's like, done.
Yeah.
Done. And look where we are today,
Right.
Not that I'm not taking credit for that,
No.
but I thought it was just an interesting.
I didn't know that.
And you were here today, and iWarriors is doing wonderful things. Why don't you give us a little background on
Sure.
the genesis of this?
Yeah. Well, as you mentioned, the Bartz' name. So Tim and Kim Bartz, two mold makers out of the Twin Cities, as you know. In 2011, they just felt the passion for this cause, and I'm glad they did. And in the lifetime of iWarriors, since then, we have 1,100 iPads distributed. We support 1,100 veterans, and growing from there. In 2019, though, they were getting close to retiring, and we thought the program was going to just fade away, and we just couldn't let that happen. So Progressive Components, who has a 501c3, sharing time and resources, or STAR is the acronym, and we were able to, we asked permission from the Bartzes. We let us take it. We'll do you right by it. They trusted us, and I'm grateful for that. And yeah, we picked that up, formed a little executive committee amongst a few of us, and here we are, and keeping it going. Yeah.
You got to give me what's the most, I don't know, inspiring story that you've heard?
I get my feedback from the testimonials, and we post them on the website, iWarriors.org. I recommend anybody to check that out. But I can talk about the themes that emerge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
How it helps them, and if you look at, for instance, the VA now is almost all digital. If you're going to access the VA, you got to have a computer, and so our iPad program gives them the window to that world, also for televisits, but the connection is the key word, and connection to families and friends through FaceTime, through email. We've had some complete their college degrees through remote college experiences, but a calendaring program. Most of these individuals have PTSD, traumatic brain injury, something going on neurologically, not all, but most do, and so we provide a list of recommended apps just to help develop the neurological muscles, if you will. But even just like calendaring, most of them you'll see, almost all of them will say, the calendar has changed my world. I can keep my appointments straight.
Oh, wow.
So it's not any one story per se. It's just these themes that emerge on how they're using them, and almost everyone is like, this has really changed my life. And it's when you think it's an iPad.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Something
an
so
iPad.
simple.
No,
Who doesn't have one?
It's a connection to the world.
It's a connection to the world for people that really need it at a critical time.
Right.
So let's talk about some of the events. And when I think about this, it's started by a mold maker. Somebody in the mold making community has taken the torch and is going with it. There's a lot of support. So you want to run through some of the events and what might be coming up?
The plastics community has been incredible in its response and how it maintains its support for this. We raise money primarily through 3 fundraisers. Golf outings is how we raise money. And these are more than golf outings, they're social events.
Of course.
You know what I'm talking about. Whether for people just registering to golf, the sponsorship. These would not happen without sponsors. Sponsors can be as simple as a couple $100 to put a sign up at a hole, and it's good. It hits a lot of eyeballs.
Yep.
It's a great way to do it. Sponsoring a luncheon, sponsoring drinks, to help defray the costs. So, because every penny we bring in, we want to get to the vets.
Yep.
You know, iWarriors is a complete volunteer group. There's not a penny that is being siphoned away, and Progressive even pays the overhead expenses like what you need for any 501c3. You need insurance. You got some legal stuff, business registry, those kind of things. We take that out of the equation right out of the gate. Again, get the money where it's intended to go. So those are the three primary fundraisers. MR Mold on the West Coast in spring each year, UTM, United Tool and Mold, down in South Carolina in October, then Alliance Industries in the Chicago area in September.
Who's the winner? Who raises the most money?
Actually, they're on parity, which is, you'd be surprised on that. And then, as you well know, last year we had a Hoka Hay challenge.
That's right, the Hoka Hay, Larry.
Larry was unbelievable on that one. And for those who don't know Hoka Hay, because I always want to make sure, it was an extreme motorcycle ride.
How many miles?
I don't want to say because I'll get it wrong, but from Key West, Florida to Alaska, so whatever the hell that is.
Yeah, whatever.
And that's without, it's not staying in hotels. This is this is roughing it. No GPS, paper maps. Remember them?
No. That's crazy.
Same. And that was a great, that raised as much as
and I followed him through our social media.
Same here. No,
so
you had to.
Updates on MoldMaking technology.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
So again, and people, with the other way we raise money through merchandise sales. You can hit the iWarriors.org site and just pick up some cool merch. This is some of our newer ones right now.
I like that one. That's nice looking.
So that's it. That's ways.
All right. So what are some new things coming up that people should look forward to, or are there also, actually, before you get to that, do you get feedback that will maybe in the future, are there plans to add anything to what you're giving our Wounded Warriors?
As far as what they receive?
Yeah.
I think we're in a pretty good lane with the iPads right now. So I believe it's good to stay in that lane.
Focused.
Yeah, I really do. I do. It's we've made our mark, and again, as I was describing, it's a tool, a really needed tool. So I think that works. I think what I want to do, my goals, and it's actually a bit of a personal goal for me, honestly. Two of them are associated with this. One, I want to get connections into Camp Pendleton. In the earliest days of iWarriors, they had connections in there. Yeah,
that's right.
They were bringing iPads in because these vets who are there, they could be there for a couple of years at a time, stuck in there for a series of operations, a series of rehab. Time passes slowly. So that's a target group for sure. And I think, an in, but I'm also doing one of my objectives of this interview is for anybody out there watching this, if you have any connections into Camp Pendleton, social workers would be the best example. Please tee them up to me because I want that. And then the other thing I want is to have a veteran at each of the golf outings. I had a recipient, and preferably a recipient, one who'll be receiving it. I had somebody in at the MR Mold outing last in 24. And there wasn't a dry eye after this individual was sharing his story. And what strikes me about these stories is that they get their injury and they're compelled to go back. Partially because they didn't finish their mission, a sense of duty, but really more so even a sense of, I got my brothers and sisters still there, I need to be there with them. And many of these recipients are doing multiple tours of duties, 3, 4 tours, getting injured on each one of them. And it's and it kills you. So
that's commitment. I just got done watching Band of Brothers. Do you remember that? So you're just reminding me of that. Watching those young guys, they get out of the hospital and they want to go back. And that's commitment. And that's why we need to help them any way we can.
Because they do feel forgotten. And the words of the gentleman who was at that MR Mold outing, it's I feel forgotten, and a bit lost. And I'm saying that's not right. And the reason I do this, I didn't serve. I wasn't in that time frame as much, and it missed me. This is my way of giving back.
No, and it's taken off. Something that's so simple is so meaningful. So last thing, what's coming up? Anything that we can promote that is coming up?
The golf outings and really the sponsorships themselves with it. That's really the key. Is we need the sponsorships. That's otherwise, again, we start chewing into the funds a little bit, and we've been able to on all these outings have sponsorships well and beyond. Because we have more applications than we have money.
Say that again.
Yeah, we have more applications than we have money. We need more funds. We receive about 150 applications each year. But I'd like to see that doubled because part of my like what's coming up is I really want to get, as I said, I want to get veterans at the outings. And we have a little bit of a hole here right now, a void in this upper Midwest. Most of our applications come from either coast, especially out in the Southeast, but not much from the upper Midwest here. And so I need, this is me personally, I need to start hitting some organizations, support organizations, and make sure they know what we do and we're out there. So that's where I can help. Just anybody, again, talking to the camera, anybody who has connections to any vet organizations, just to make them aware of this program so we can just, both from the application side, but even more so, like I say, we just got to get more funds in this.
Got it. All right, and that's iWarriors.org, correct? Check it out. Thank you, Don.
Thank you very much for doing this. Yep.